Everything wrong with Hotel Mario in 4 minutes. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I have seen at least one scene from this before. It involves Toast. But the rest of the video, no clue on, honestly. So, won't be the end of the world. Dude, it's Hotel Mario. Who has Hotel Mario as their favorite video game of all time? People under 5 don't count.
Without further ado, thank you for watching.
If you don't even have a license to use the toilet, why would you have a count? Why would your vote matter?
Wow, 2 frames of animation for a laugh. What is this, MS Paint Movie Maker?
Pretty much.
I would know.
I hope you made lots of spaghetti.
That's racist. I love how
not really.
Mouth movement, so they decided to just make the
At times, like spaghetti, everyone likes spaghetti.
They put effort into anything, really.
We gotta find the princess. And you gotta help us.
This is the beginning of so many YouTube poops.
You need instructions on how to get through.
Seriously, if there's anything that these Nintendo games got us, it was a fun ton of memes. The Zelda stuff, the Mario. There was gonna be a Samus. Just imagine. It froze.
Okay, you know, I thought the game froze for
Never
a second,
forget.
No.
Say, Nintendo turned down working with Sony
I'm pretty sure you
to
guys
work
planned
with
that instead of Luigi
this.
being Mario's literal step stool. Also, is it me or are those doors way too fucking small?
The humongous entertainment games look better than this.
That's your reaction to what just happened? You hit your head so many times on the back, probably broke your ass bone with that landing.
I forget he has back hair, honestly. The hell?
What the f***? Either they're too big or that tree is really tiny.
Apparently. Oh look, Peach kidnapped. We're gonna see that a lot in this marathon.
Why didn't either of you follow rule, you colossal imbeciles?
It begins.
Remind me to check.
I don't need to fucking remind you. That should be priority number fucking 1.
Oh, here we go.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You mean to tell me that they didn't move 1 fucking inch when the princess fell from the tree? What asshole?
It's just Peach. She's only the princess.
Toasters toast toast.
No, they do not! They toast bread, dumbass! Also, who says that? That's not a saying, that's an actual fact! That's like saying, oh, you know what they say, fire burns? Of course fire fucking burns! And you just carry that bread with you? It has your literal enema
Sourpuss
on it.
bread.
Why would you buy his product? Why the f*** would you unplug the toaster?
That was the scene.
Why were you standing on the pipe to begin
Ah, fucking amazing. He put his heart and soul into that.
Wait, what?
That
How do
away.
you know that's where the pipe leads?
It says pipe leads this way.
The princess went through.
Yeah, why don't you just go down the pipe?
Humanity.
Bring a light? No. Well, maybe a Koopa will lend us his. If we persuade him.
Whoa, I know the Mario characters have as much personality as my left thumb, but geez, that was pretty dark for
By
me.
his standards, yeah. And he's supposed to be the scaredy cat.
I hope we can get rid of him. Get the hint?
No!
We're gonna kill him. Why would you ever press the big red button?
Funny joke,
Oh, it
where
worked.
the hell was the fan connected to? Also, why do they have a big fan? Bowser's ghost cologne keeps magic spells away?
Why would you have that?
Fragrances, how and why would they be able to repel magic? Not to mention, and this is just a question on my part, why keep it next to his medical prescription? Also, Bowser's medical prescription!
Yeah, wait a minute. So you get a headache? For the record, none of these are canon to this Mario universe, nor the Zelda one.
I don't want to pinch Wendy's anything.
Right? I'm not getting burgers anytime soon.
That is a sentient piggy bank and Mario just hammered through her stomach. Not only is that just flat out rude, but that's morbid as shit.
Yeah. I hope she wasn't carrying. Mario! At some point, just funny. The background didn't move in time.
Or there was fire. You know, just saying.
Or there's toast toasting.
I can safely rule the Mushroom Kingdom, free from the terrible Koopa kind.
Wouldn't you ever actually rule the Mushroom
What are
Kingdom?
you even saying?
You can rule the Mushroom Kingdom, something, something, something. Hey, Luigi gets some action.
Thanks to you, too.
Oh, but the player doesn't get a kiss?
Puts on Fedora. If she wanted to kiss, I totally thought someone would have gotten off to it. That was ridiculous. I thought the sensor was gonna be a whole lot of YouTube poops, a montage of them on that to boost. At least the evil laugh for Bowser was actually pretty dang good. So, which is worse, the CDI Bowser laugh or the Sunshine Bowser laugh roar thing?
the awesome people that I parody.
That's your
They also
question.
host sister channels that cover music videos, brands, and other topics.
I would never get over
If you
the
got time,
fact
why not
that,
check out everything wrong
of
with
course,
Super
it's one of those
Sunshine?
whole like Monday morning
Actually, a good
quarterbacking
video
things.
game.
Like we know that in
Really
history
terrible
now,
voice
where
acting.
they didn't know at the
Anyway,
time,
until
like
next time, stay safe and stay
what
awesome.
was
This
was
is
those
Jar
events
5,
like
signing off.
best what was it
I don't
Blockbuster?
need to remind you. That should be in the...
Even he had to admit how funny it was. Like, what's the fact that Blockbuster could have bought Netflix, but to be fair to them, Netflix was like in its infancy and was basically some online thing. They couldn't have possibly known what Netflix was going to become at the time, because the Netflix back then was nothing like the Netflix now. Where they could have bought it for relatively cheap. But again, they wouldn't know. It's one of the things where it's like, wow, look, you look really stupid now. Yeah, now they do. Back then, not so much. It's one of those things, but just never forget that Nintendo unintentionally created one of their strongest forms of competition. Although I wonder though, if PlayStation was never made, would Xbox have even gone to the game? Because Microsoft's one of those things where they could just leave now, and would anyone really miss them? Like, would there be much of a difference? I mean, even they have things said they just like they do it because they want to. They just have so much money, might as well. I mean, I'm not saying no one would miss them, of course, but Xbox has their fans, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, it was a Scott the Woz day, just like, if anyone was going to leave now, it was going to be the Xbox, so, yeah. Well, let's see it just, thanks to partnering with them, we got these, I think there was 2 Mario games and 2 Zelda games. Like I said, there was going to be a Metroid one. Thank God that didn't come to pass. Metroid, Samus still has her dignity. I almost said Metroid still has her dignity. God! That's like calling Link Zelda. Or calling Sonic, wait. Oy. But, it's just a funny little tidbit, just like, man, that doesn't look good in the past, but how are they supposed to know? To be fair, the animation, just like getting cutscenes at all back then was just a miracle in and of itself, but these are your cutscenes. It's like, I think I'll stick with my 2D, thank you very much. What else was there? There was some other thing, just you get cutscenes and Rick Robertson, voice acting cutscenes on top of that, that in its own way was kind of impressive. Oh right, I did hear a behind the scenes sort of thing, 'cause I think the whole things that did the cutscenes was some Russian painters, I believe, because at the time the people who owned the Phillips and all that stuff, I saw some Russian paintings and just assumed that this means that all Russians can paint this way. No. No. So without the spaghetti, oh, Italians like spaghetti, that's offensive. What do you think about, oh, sure, all Russians can paint well. No. That's not a rule. I mean, I'm not one to throw out the race card every 5 seconds like some people, but it's still like, that's just not true. Oh, well, that's just what it goes to show. I mean, it was before the internet, but still, like, wouldn't you at least want to contact them and be like, hey, can you, like, paint something for us so we can judge for ourselves to decide? To be fair, the background paintings in some of the video game areas, just when the game is in motion, the background paintings themselves aren't bad, just these don't make for good platforming thing, because you can't tell what's a background obstacle and what's an actual thing you can interact with. It doesn't have the whole, like, the thing that's colored differently from everything else effect, or the thing that's in different highlights. It's just one big mesh. Oy. So that causes some problems, needless to say. But it's a funny thing to look back on, and without the CDI games, we wouldn't have YouTube poops. So a big section of YouTube just wouldn't exist if it wasn't for these games. So for better or worse, they ultimately affected YouTube in the future. So while I'm not a YouTube poop guy myself, I can at least thank the CDI games for causing this whole thing to create, because again, without it, we'd lose like a third of YouTube. the other third is cats. The last third is everything else. Literally everything else. And I'll tell you what, I'm only okay with one of those thirds. And I'm not going to explain further than that. Look, sometimes we all want to say a cat video. That's not the end of the world. But, yeah. Cat videos I'm convinced that we ever break down the concept of the internet itself, like just break it down to its bare necessities. It's just a bunch of cat videos. Let's be real here. It's the heart and soul of the internet. But that's not a bad thing at the end of the day. I'd much rather be cats than politics or something like that. God, no, thank you. If I find out it's cats, I can just be like, yeah, that sounds about right. But anyway, I've gone on rambling about this, and I think it's been rambling longer than the actual video itself. So why don't we wind it down here? So good video with some funny stuff. I'll always remember that all toasters toast toast rant. I saw that, I couldn't stop laughing the first time. I haven't seen the video, so just so my friend sent me this snippet. It's just like I died laughing. He put his heart and soul to that scream. Just a meltdown. Look, YouTube is a lot of things, but and we evolve in comment type, but sometimes guy yells into microphone. It's basic, but it gets the job done sometimes. And